Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. I have a ton of crypto news that's, to be honest with you, mind-blowing to me, but you probably won't see the prices jump just yet. But this goes along exactly what I've been talking about. In December, you're going to see so much amazing news with crypto. You will start seeing these markets popping off and prices rising. We're going to start from the top because there are a ton of stories. Do me a favor. Can you type yes or no? Is there an echo inside this right now? We're just now setting this up for a new studio for putting cars in here and some news stories I want to cover in the automotive industry. So let me know if there's an echo, because we're going to start getting baffling and all that stuff in here. All right. Before I start this, there are a few hours left of all my crypto courses. All my courses are almost 90% off. Links down below if you want to take a look at them. I highly suggest you educate yourself now in crypto before things run again. All right. So here we go. First story, Tom Lee, head of Fundstrat, right? Predicts Ethereum surge to 7,000, between 7 and 9,000 by this January. So he is doubling down. Not only is he calling for all-time highs in Bitcoin, he's calling for a 7,000, 9,000 Ethereum. So Lee, co-founder of Fundstrat and chairman of Bitmine, forecasts Ethereum reaching 7 to 9,000 by the end of 2026, thanks to a tokenization wave bringing bonds and stocks on chain, fresh inflows into the US, spot ETFs, and Ethereum's undervaluation against Bitcoin's recent highs. He expects a short-term dip to 2,500. Now, please understand, this is exactly what I have been calling for. I have been saying we're going to see a dip. Take advantage. Always have cash in your position and I've still got 20% of my portfolio in cash right now. I've been slowly buying some altcoins that have just been dumping for no reason of their own, but I haven't gone all in. All right, that's very important that people don't just dive right in. Right. He says here that he's looking for a short-term dip to 2,500. Like I've been saying, I'm hoping for it. I hope it comes as a buying chance before the rally. Bitmine recently added 14,000 Ethereum worth 44 million to its holdings. So there you go. That's what he's talking about, right? There's so much news here. It's insane. Next story. President Trump is now pledging that the US will never sell its Bitcoin holdings. It says here, Trump announced, now think about this real quick. Type 1 if this makes sense. When large entities or individuals buy up stocks or cryptocurrency and they do not sell them, that makes the price go up eventually because the float, the amount of available shares or tokens or cryptocurrencies is less on the open market. So then the newbies, the plebs, the retail investors with all their emotion attached to it run in and bid it up, okay? That's what causes things to go up. So type 1 if you agree with that, because not a lot of people or understand it. Most people don't get that. So Trump announced today that the US would stop selling its Bitcoin. Remember, that's what Biden was doing. He was trying to get rid of it, use the SEC, weaponize the SEC against all of us and the world, honestly, against cryptocurrency. And he was selling the, not strategic reserve, but the amount that the government had confiscated. Trump has vowed never to sell it. Says here, when Trump announced this, that the U.S. would stop selling its Bitcoin, starting from seized assets totaling about 326,000 Bitcoin, which is worth roughly $29 billion at 91,000 per coin right now as of today. These holdings grew recently to with 127,000 additional BTC forfeiture from a scam network in October. The pledge marks a shift from prior auctions and aligns with its vision to position America as a crypto capital amid talks of a national strategic reserve. Can you guys do me a favor? This would be the most amazing thing. If you could clip what I'm about to say and put it on X, put it on things, and get it in front of Trump somehow, like, hashtag Trump. Mr. Trump, do all of America a favor and stop all taxes on crypto for the next 5 years so that Americans can go and grab it up, buy it up, and will become wealthy as more people around the world follow Thailand. You can't be the first one now. Thailand just announced it, but you better be quick because you don't want to be the 10th country or the 20th country that says, you know what? The only way we can win in this crypto war is let our people buy it. So they're going to go buy it if we announce zero capital gains taxes. Okay. So do me a favor, everyone, clip that, get it to them, because this is important stuff. This would change our entire economy. Now, that is, if that story wasn't awesome enough, right, where Trump's pledging they're not going to sell their Bitcoin. XRP ETFs now attract over $667 million in November inflows. So XRP ETFs have just fired off just recently, and we are seeing massive amounts of buying. Now, the reason why the price isn't going up, and I still believe there's going to be some weakness in the price, and you guys know that I sold most of my XRP. I still have some, but it was because there are so many other value plays out there with these crypto token projects. Along the lines of what XRP does in the DeFi realm, there was way too much money to be made in those, right? But once XRP or Ripple stops selling XRP onto the open market and they start really burning it or lock a bunch of it up in escrow, you're going to see that price take off, all right? Another story that's amazing, Coinbase teases now December 17th system update. Look, I've been preparing everyone for the Base ecosystem. And if you want the link to the course, there's an amazing sale down below. But what you need to realize is that Base, the layer 2 on Ethereum that Coinbase created and developed with their money, they put together some amazing coders on that. They are going to they will literally gnaw their arm off to succeed. There's no way, you can't hold these guys back. And there is so much money to be made on Base creating. Think about this. There are applications on Base where you can get paid in crypto by just posting like you do already on X. I'm just quickly, show of hands, give me emoji, any emoji, if you are actively posting on X and you're giving thought-provoking questions, answers, things like that. And what you don't realize is that you can get paid to do that exact same stuff. What Base wants to do is build a social media network, and that's how they're going to take over the world. I'm not joking. And they're saying free speech or claiming free speech and all this stuff. They're going to take so many millions and millions of users off of X and off of other platforms because of how they're doing business. And you could do that, literally make money right now for what you already do on your own time. That's why I've been preparing people for the Base ecosystem and how to find those tokens before they hit Coinbase, Binance, and KuCoin, all these big exchanges. So Coinbase is going to have this announcement coming out on the 17th, and it is going to be a very, very big deal. Now, last but not least, I can't go without talking about silver. Type silver if you own silver down below. I'm really curious. And if you own crypto and silver, put crypto and silver. I'm just curious how many people are just silver owners. And the reason why is because this is a crypto video, right? I'm giving all these amazing headlines about crypto, and but some people still watch. There's some people that are watching, awesome, that own just silver. That is so cool that you're watching this video. I highly suggest you learn everything you can about crypto right now and put just a little bit, a very little bit of money in, and watch it, move it around, look at the block explorer, learn about all these things. It will change your life forever, okay? Silver hits a record $56 on November 28th. It says here the metal jumped over 5% that day amid a 10-hour COMEX futures pause. We already did a video about that, but this is because of a Chicago data center cooling failure. I think that's totally made up. With physical markets in Shanghai reaching $56.72, a forecasted global supply deficit of 95 million ounces in 2025. Just that global supply deficit has been around for over a decade, and it does keep getting worse, but that hasn't added to the price of silver, okay? What you're seeing is a melt up because of a couple things. A perfect storm of quantitative easing about to start, people understanding that the economy is melting down, and so they want to go to things that have real value. And you have global turmoil between these countries with the trade imbalances, right? And just like we saw with China shutting down America's ability to buy rare earths, and then that got really sketchy, and they still really have held us back in buying their rare earths, but they opened up a couple doors just to appease the markets. You have to realize that there are countries that are going to start buying up silver. Once that's announced, it's going to be insane. Now, I don't believe that announcement is going to come right away. I think that countries are buying silver primarily through proxies in a way that they know they can eventually take them out. I can't even imagine if it's found out that Tether starts buying silver. It would wreck markets. But I don't believe that's going to happen that soon because the powers of be have been keeping this down. I do completely subscribe to that theory. As a matter of fact, I'm curious, type 5 if you subscribe to the theory that there are people that are actively trying to suppress the price of silver because they don't want it to run alarm bells off in relation to the value of whatever currency they're trying to protect. So it looks like I'm not the only one. And it's important to realize those things because it shouldn't cause you to run out, like crypto too. You shouldn't run out and put all your money into one basket as fast as you can because what if it dips tomorrow? You missed out. And not only that, when you have all your money in one basket, one asset class, well, what happens is you're hyper-focused on that asset class. And when things aren't doing good and all the doom and gloom stories come out, you're more than likely to sell at a loss. Can I get an amen here? Do you guys agree with that? Once, I went through those crypto winners that were long, right? I bought XRP at 2 cents, watched it go well over $3 in about a year and a half time. And then it just dumped. And I never sold any during that time of the XRP. I held it and it went all the way down to 18 cents. And because I knew so much about it, what did it cause me to do? Same thing with silver, by the way. I bought silver, a monster box of silver with $25,000 cash from flipping tractors. I literally bought in 25 grand worth of $100 bills. And I bought a monster box for $25,000. I paid $50 an ounce. The reason why I say this is because I had researched so much about silver when it fell year after year after year, eventually getting down to $11, right? During the peak craziness of, I want to say it was 2020 when everything was shutting down. I bought more. I had cash on the side. I had things to sell. Eventually I sold my house and I bought a bunch of XRP. I bought more silver. Mrs. Ninja would say, when's enough? And I'm like, I'm not joking. It's never enough when you're buying at a discount. And now you look at these times, silver's at an all-time high. Just freaking awesome. Amen to that, right? I love it when you guys say amen with me. Just say amen if you're just like pumped that silver is, at $56. Bitcoin just came off all-time highs. It'll be pressing all-time highs again. And, I remember when I bought my first Bitcoin at $500 and my first Ethereum at 50, and I was hooked and I was buying as much as I could. You look back now and it is absolutely life-changing. And I want that for all of you. I've got some plans for next year. That's why I taught everyone about how to buy real estate tax liens and fully tax deeds, because you'll pay 1/10 of the price for real estate instead of going to a foreclosure auction. Most people are just looking for foreclosure auctions. You're going to pay way too much for those properties doing that. There's a link to that course down below. I highly suggest. It is a stupid low price. I found that in the financial industry, when it comes to education, the average cost of those courses are $3,000. So I said, well, why don't I just market to, 1/10 of that cost so that people will have enough money in the game to take the course and be serious about it. And hopefully they'll take the coaching calls too, because that's a game changer right there. But that's one way. Then with crypto, I highly suggest everybody go look at it. Even if you've been in crypto for a couple of years, I highly suggest you take the Bitcoin 101 and the security course. It'll change the game. You'll sleep better at night. You may think your stuff's secure, but I have too many stories of people losing 6 and 7 figures of their crypto, and they've been doing it as long as me, but they were not secure. So go check that out. And then lastly, I got to be honest with you, the base course is amazing, along with the DeFi course. It'll teach you how to find hidden gems on decentralized exchanges before they go to large exchanges. And you don't want to be buying, near the top when something lists on Coinbase and you've already missed a 10x move from when it came out. I highly suggest all those courses are over 90% off now, or around 90% off down below. We extended a little bit longer because of an amazing email I got this last night from a struggling nurse. And I'm going to be honest with you. Let me tell you a little story about this nurse. I'll get emotional if I read it again, but a starving nursing student said, I bought a couple courses. Well, this gentleman had not bought a couple courses. This gentleman bought like 8 courses. And I already seen the ones that he'd finished. And he said that the way that these courses are outlined, he gets it. He understands. He's taking decisive action. So what Dylan and I did is we gave him 2 more courses because he's diligently taking them. I can see the progress. I can see the progress of all my students. That's why it's nuts when somebody emails us freaking out. Here, you want to hear something just totally stupid? Type yes if you want to hear something totally stupid, what a student did. You guys, because I think it's important that people understand there are some people that buy education and they never take it, right? They never put it to use. And what's motivating them is greed. Thank you so much. There's people saying nice things about my courses right now. And they're totally motivated by greed, and then greed overtakes them. So let me tell you this story. I got someone cursing and yelling at me the other day on an email. This is a student saying, thanks a lot. I bought your overpriced course. This is the $2,000 course that came out in the beginning of the year. And I said, we're going to highlight projects. Well, out of greed, everybody wanted to buy it because they're like, oh, the ninja's going to eventually talk about it. Well, I didn't talk about every crypto that I brought to them. And some of them would get angry and send us emails. Why aren't you pumping this coin? Well, that's not what this is about. I'm bringing you guys real projects put together by real teams, humans that are amazing and accomplished. And this is like trying to find the next Apple when Apple was $1. And just so you know, I owned it back then. I own Priceline at $2. Go look at the price of stock and Priceline right now. You'll start to think differently when you live those kind of extremes, when you have owned stock for that long or crypto for that long and it goes up exponentially, or gold, right? There are people in this video right now that have probably bought gold at $200 an ounce, right? Back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So my point being is that this person screaming, yelling, he said, I bought your overpriced course and I bought your first pick and I put in $60,000. Now that is just a mind-blowing amount for a lot of people. I understand that. That used to be a mind-blowing amount for me. And now it's only worth 10 grand, he said. Now he said this next line, he said, I know that technically this isn't your fault, but, and then he started cursing at me. So I called up Dylan and I said, Dylan, can you pull up his transcripts and see what lessons he's taken? And he pulled them up and he started laughing and he goes, not one class, not one lesson. He didn't watch one lesson from the entire course. What he did is he watched the first token that we'd highlighted. And he didn't even, on the token highlights, we actually put the dates when those videos come out, trying to warn you like, hey, don't run up here and buy this on a pump. Don't be an idiot. Don't be a moron. And this is the date it came out. So you could go, oh, this video is like 3 months old. And look, it's already done this and it started to come down because of over emotions of other traders, right? This moron, and I'm going to be honest, this is probably the easiest way to describe this person. This moron didn't watch one lesson after spending $2 grand on a course. And we're talking probably, 40 lessons in that course. And a lot of them are warning and preparing people for these calls, these trade calls, how to make money from them, the different cycles and stuff they see. Dumps all of his money into one at the peak. And has still not watched a single video. I don't know how to help. I can't help every single person. I can only help people that want to take action and want to do something and change their lives. So I'm going to ask you this, and I'm being sincere. Type 100 if you are ready to make 2026 that year. You're like, I'm willing to put in the work and listen to people that are extremely successful and have fought the good fight of winning and losing in money. And I want to go and make 2026 successful because I'm going to listen to them. When they say jump, I'm going to say how high. When they say sell, I'm going to say not why, but yes, I'm going to do it, but go and dig in and figure this out a little bit more. I'm stumbling on my words right now. But, I have mentors that have told me things like, hey, go do this. And I don't even ask the question. I just go do it because I'm showing two things. I'm showing them my ability to make it happen. I'm also showing the respect that I have for them because of the struggle they had to get where they were and how rich they are now. And I just did it. And then what happens, that opens up another opportunity, another opportunity, another opportunity. And shoot, these courses are because somebody more successful than me told me to do them. And I jumped to the opportunity and I just did it. And you know what's funny? The first advice he gave me was the hardest thing I ever took. I said, well, what do I do? How do I do it? And he goes, sell the course before you make it. That scared the piss out of me. Sell the course before you make it. I'm like, whoa. And I just did it. I put it for sale. It was the side hustle course, how to start a side hustle. I put it for sale. I didn't even know what I was gonna do. I had over 20 businesses and side hustles in my life. And then I saw this sales come in, and it put me to task. So if you're ready to take action, I highly suggest you go look at this sale. And then please don't email me next week and go, can you do this sale again? This is Black Friday weekend, okay? We mark these things down 90% off. Go find something that you want to learn about and go learn about it. And what's really cool, then this is my 100% expectancy. And this is like vulnerable stuff. Like there are people that have all these fancy copies and have all these, what's it called? They dress real nice and they're sitting in front of a Lamborghini or something like that. I could put a fancy car in here. There probably will be next week, but that's not here to sell it. Well, it is, but I'm just going to tell you that I believe that you're going to get so much out of these courses because you pay a little bit of money. But the next time I come out with a course, and next week I'm going to blow people's minds with a new tax course that'll blow people's minds about taxes, and it needs to be done. And I finally got somebody I've been begging for 2 years to do this course with, and he agreed to it. So he's flying in next week to film it. I'm going to make lifetime customers out of you because I'm going to show you how to succeed, give you a blueprint, put you on a path, and you're going to go crush it. And you're going to go, copy ninja, when do we start the next one? And we're going to do it again, again, and again. So the link's down below. Sales good for a handful of hours more. It's Black Friday weekend. I hope you got something out of this. Crypto is going to boom in December. I don't know when, I don't know how much, but I would not be surprised if we saw a $200,000 Bitcoin. I know it sounds crazy, but I've lived through these pumps before, and I believe we're about to live through them again. The Economic Ninja is out.